Wake the kids and phone the neighbors. We're back with the Nightly Draw Live. How the heck you doing? I'm from Studio 1A here at the Worldwide Broadcast Operations Center at Stately Lotshaw Manor. How you doing? I hope you had a great weekend. We were thinking this show tonight was going to be on Picardo, and I just didn't get things set up in time. I'll tell you about the weekend in a moment. But, that's why we set up the, so that no matter where it's going to be, whether it's Picardo or it's YouTube or it's, tin cans and a string, it doesn't matter. That URL will always bring you here to the show. So use that, keep using that, so that way you don't need to know what network is it going to be, what channels, what platforms are going to be on. That URL will always take you there. So, so sorry about that. This weekend just kind of disappeared on me. Saturday, I went to bed about 2 a.m. after doing the show. Finished up a few things here. Went to bed about 2 a.m. And the next thing I knew, it was 6 o'clock on Saturday. 6 p.m. on Saturday. Like, what? I can't believe I slept that much. And then did the same thing again on Sunday, basically. So I just did not have time to do the setup for Picardo, and I'll work on that later. But there are some show announcements that I want to make. One of them is Friday. There may be no show. Maybe. I'm going to be traveling on Friday, and I may not be able to do a show from where I'm going to be. But if I can do the show, it's going to be amazing. So I'm still working that out. I haven't gotten everything put into place yet. But if there is a show on Friday, it's going to be one, and I'll know here shortly, it's going to be one that you're going to want to tell the grandkids about. So you are going to want to be there for that show, absolutely, if we're doing it. And I'll let you know ahead of time if it's good. I'll know whether we're good to go or not. And we may have another cancellation another night this week. I don't know. Which brings up another something that I was want to ask you guys. I was thinking about something that Winston Churchill once said. Winston Churchill is one of my favorite people of the not only the 20th century, but of all of history, really, because he had such a wonderful way of putting things. And he said that guests and fish after 3 days began to smell. And that was making me think: Do I want to? Is this going to? I'm feeling like I'm repeating myself here. Okay, tonight I'm going to draw on the strip again, and just having to come up with new content. I'm thinking about possibly taking the nightly draw and making it maybe the weekly draw. And we do this once a week instead of every night. And I appreciate you guys who have been here for the live show every night. I really do appreciate you and your commitment to putting up with this crap. But was it Ben Franklin? You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. It was Ben Franklin, because I remember now. I was watching the John Adams miniseries the other night, and that's where I saw it. It made me think of that quote. You're absolutely right, Darkwing. It is not Winston Churchill. It sounds like something Churchill would say. But you're right. It was Ben Franklin, who was another great philosopher. But speaking of Winston Churchill, one of the things that I'm going to do this week, I want to go see Dunkirk. I do want to see that film, because I'm fascinated by World War II history. But anyway, one of the things I'm thinking about is going to a less frequent schedule for this, so that I don't get into the rut of, okay, he's going to draw on the strip again tonight. So that's kind of that's just something to think about. And no, thank you, Darkwing, for pointing that out, because I do like to be accurate, especially when I'm quoting some of my favorite people in history. I want to make sure that I'm quoting the right guy. And it was there was Ben Franklin. You're absolutely right. So anyway, um, that's something that I'm thinking about, is about knocking this down to once a week or something like that. And anyway, so your comments on that is fine. That'd be great. Um, Tom, you're really stretching for a joke there, pal. Dumb Kirk, you are really stretching for a pal for a joke. Okay. Oh, don't forget, tomorrow night, it's Total Request Tuesday. Total Request Tuesday, and well, probably going to end up being Total Request Monday too, because I really don't have anything planned. Uh, so, but be thinking about what you'd like to see me draw on that. So let's go ahead and get it out of the way. It's coming. That's right, kids. It's the shameless commerce and capitalism part of our show. I'm going to, get through this as quickly as we can. Patreon, $5 a month starts it all. You get original content, and I know I didn't get any content up there this weekend, which I was planning to do. I know. I'll get it. I will get it later this week. But the new pages for 7 Centauri go up there first, and will be up there exclusively for Patreon members until the story is complete. Then at $30 a month, there's Not Safe for Work Fridays. Naughty pictures once a week go up there. And then, there's also other premiums at various patronage levels. Patronage is very important because that supports everything here. So I really do appreciate my patrons, so much so that I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up right here, and I'm going to roll the names. There they are. There's the patrons. That's how important they are. I want to give them their due, and I do appreciate their support of Accidental Centaurs. We also, as I mentioned, the Facebook page is a great place to keep track of what's going on with Accidental Centaurs. That doesn't cost anything. I don't know why it's in the shameless capitalism part of it, because it's free. There's nothing. That should be in the shameless socialism part of the show, I guess. Then there's I get. Then there's Etsy. There's the Etsy shop. There's original art. I do take commissions. Hint, hint, guys. Hint, 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 hint. There's lots of original art up there, and I'm going to get more up there one of these days. I've got lots of original art that I've accumulated over the last 17 years, and I would love for it to go to a good home. And that's how I can find good homes, is through Etsy. So go over and take a look at that, and maybe buy something or two. This information coming up here, which is about the books. I'm going to be revamping that pretty soon, and I'll tell you why. But right now, we've got the collections at Etsy. These are full color compilations. These are the excuse me, the first 3 stories, and then the part 4-part Dictating the Course 100-page graphic novel. And like I said, they're very beautiful, full color books. They're print on demand, which is why they're a little pricey, and there are PDF versions, but I'm going to be revamping all of that and moving all that over to the Accidental Centaur store, which I'm setting up, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Then there's also the Naughty Bits books, and those are all on Lulu as well at Naughty Bits, lulu.com/naughtybits. And there are PDF versions of that. Again, that's all going to change up here very soon, because I'm going to be moving that to my own store, the PDF sales anyway. Not much I can do for the physical books. But then there's DragonCon coming up September 1st through 4th. at the Atlanta America's Mart, which is our merchandise mart here, and we'll be in Building 3. Building 3, which is somewhere downtown. It's a maze. It's like a rabbit's warren back there. I don't go downtown. I just don't. And so I don't even know where the heck it is downtown. I just follow the signs, but are followed by GPS now. But I'll be there with Bill Holbrook, and I'll be there with Tom Heiches of Hogan's Alley. So come by and say hello if you're coming to Dragon Con, and if you're not, come to Atlanta and go to Dragon Con anyway. Doggone it! It's like Comic Con, but not nearly as well. It's hotter, and it's more humid, and there's more hills. And why am I recommending this? Anyway, but anyway, that's going to be happening September 1st through 4th, and I will have there all. I now have in print all of the Accidental Centaurs comic books, all the stories, except for Lair of the Insectars, because of course that's not really finished, not in a shape that I can put into a comic book yet. But now everything that is in a shape to put into a comic book, that isn't the naughty bit stuff, is in comic books, and that's going to be the main way that I sell these. So I got we did the unboxing last week of the comic books. So now there are 9 issues of Accidental Centaurs as comics, and you're going to be able to get those. Let me find my You're going to be able to here at shop.accidentalcentaurs.com. No W. What the heck is that W doing there? I'm going to fire my typist. But anyway, those are. I'm setting that page up, and you'll be able to order those comic books. Those will be coming directly from me. I mean, I'm going to be mailing them out of stately Lotshaw Manor from the shipping department, and so those are going. That's going to be coming from me. So that's going to be finishing up here in the next, hopefully in the next few days. Have that ready to go, and there'll also be digital downloads available there as well, if you want to get that. Hold on a second. Cold water. Nice. Okay. So that pretty much ends shameless capitalism for now. Okay. Now, as I said, I really didn't do my show prep. I don't have anything planned to draw. So what do you want to see me draw? What do you want me to draw? I mean, I'm open to suggestions here. And I really haven't even been able to see what you guys have been saying over here on the chat. Let's see. Okay. Cheetar asked me if I had seen Valerian yet. No, I have not seen Valerian. I do want. Valerian's been getting some bad reviews, which so did Fifth Element, and Fifth Element's now considered to be a classic. I don't care if it's dumb and dopey. It's supposed to be dumb and dopey. I saw see, who was it that I saw? Boy, that is blown out. Oh, let me see if I can shade that a little bit. There, that's better. I saw it was Nostalgia Critic Doug Walker and his brother do a little thing on their channel where after they see a movie, they do their little review before Nostalgia Critic does the big full Nostalgia Critic treatment on it. And he said this is what Star Crash would be like with a $100 million budget. Now, if you're not familiar with Star Crash was a movie that ran on the original. Did it run? Was the original MST3K or was it the new one? Anyway, on All I got to say is it stars David Hasselhoff. What more? What more can I say than that? And it's pre Knight Rider David Hasselhoff too. This was an Italian attempt to dial in on the Star Wars phenomenon, and it was Italian. Which, you know, the Italians, when it comes to making science fiction movies, are just whack jobs. They really are, and in a good way too, in a fun way too. Well, kind of in a Luc Besson kind of way too. So anyway, and I haven't seen Kingsman. I do want to see Kingsman when it comes. Well, I do want to go see. I do want to see that, and I want to see. Oh yeah, Marjo Gortner is in that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you, Darkwing. I forgot about that. You're right, Marjo Gortner is in that. And boy, it is. Man, it makes the Glenn Larson Buck Rogers look good. You know, at least the Glenn Larson Buck Rogers had Mel Blanc in it. You know, well, part of it. And Erin Gray, who's always a delight to see at the cons. She looks fantastic, even today. She's usually at Dragon Con. And from what I understand, Gil Gerard lives here in Georgia now. He lives on the other side of Atlanta, from what I've heard. But anyway, let's see. A live draw of Peter and Dorham. Oh boy, that's going back a ways. For those of you who don't know what James Rao is talking about there on the chat, Piotr and Dorham. Younger. Those were going to be in a story that was abandoned, that was going to start off years down the road. Those were going to be Alex and Sam's children. And the story was abandoned because it just didn't. It ended up not fitting in with the way that I was going to evolve the story. And but that's what he's talking about there. Yeah, you know, the 20th, the old Buck. The old Buck was great. I mean, I give it. It was cheesy. It was cheesy. It wasn't even real cheese. It was like American cheese, which is not real cheese. It's processed cheese food. It was but it was so 70s, but it was you know, whenever they would do the future discos, even then I would cringe. But especially the first season. The second season was horrible, but the first season, it had this great tongue-in-cheek kind of, you know, it wasn't taking itself so seriously, and you know, Aaron Gray and spandex. What can I say? You know, that was really great. It was a great show. I enjoyed it. I never missed it. And Tweaky was, you know, Felix Sela is going to be at Dragon Con. That reminds me. Felix Sela was the little person in the suit, and he was also Cousin It on the Addams Family, and you know, a lot of okay, I'm just reading the chat here. Okay, it's Centaur with a draft confirmation. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, geez, I don't. All right. Let me grab my sketchbook here. Hello, sketchbook. Hello. Is this the one I want to use? Has this got enough paper in it? I don't know. We will find out soon enough. Oh, geez, that looks terrible. These cameras. Well, it's not the cameras. It's the light. there's just not enough light here. Not enough good light. Let's see. Excuse me. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Welcome to the apocalypse. Okay, now I'm going to paraphrase the guy over on AVE. Focus, you fack. What happened to the focus? Auto. Sorry about that. There we go. Oh, there we go. See, James, this is what you get for quoting the opening to Outer Limits at the beginning. We control the focus. Actually, somebody else controls the focus. It wasn't me. All right. These, by the way, these are some of the sketches I did. I did these over at that show of various doctors. I don't know if this really showed up. This 6th Doctor, 7th Doctor, 10th Doctor. 10th Doctor. Started working on the War Doctor here, and Christopher Eccleston, 9th Doctor. And then 1st Doctor. And you really can't see these, probably can't see these very well. Then 2nd Doctor, and then the 3rd Doctor doing his Venusian Aikido. And then, oh look, there's a Trash 80. And let's see. Oh yeah, I did go through this one. Let's see. There's a little sketch I did of Jesse. Aww. And then there was the Rick and Morty that I did the other day. All right, here we go. All right. So what are we doing here? You want a draft centaur. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is getting off to a good start. Yeah, that's really. You're instilling me with a lot of confidence, Doc. Problem is with the and again, this is I can tell you already, this is probably not going to be very good because I just the musculature is pretty much what, you know, that is what makes a draft horse a draft horse. And so, oh, you know what? Here, let's oh, I need to do that button. There we go. So it's not so You're probably hearing a lot of hissing. I don't know. With the compression, it may not really may not matter. And Clydesdales, as I recall, tend to have a yes, that's it, a draft horse. Thank you. Good night, everybody. He'll be here all week, whether we like it or not. You know, there was something I was going to say, and then Tom's terrible joke just completely took it out of my. I don't even remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, Clydesdales usually have the hair growing over the hooves like this. The forelocks, I believe those are called, if I remember correctly. Do I actually mean that Tom actually tells good jokes? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You might possibly think that, but I couldn't possibly comment. Which is the greatest non-answer answer I've ever heard of. I don't know if you're familiar. There's a great show. It's just wonderful watching an actor like Kevin Spacey just go full Shatner. Kevin Spacey's one of my favorite actors. I love watching Kevin Spacey. I mean, he's one of those actors. You know, you can watch him read the phone book. He's that good. And just watching him just get to go, you know, full tilt Shatner on House of Cards. It's just a thing of beauty. It really is. And but there's but it was based on a British series called House of Cards. It was basically the same kind of premise where it starts out with a member of the House of Commons who is passed over when a new government is installed, and he plots his political revenge and ends up becoming, in the case of Francis Urquhart, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and has a showdown with, because in the series there's a new king who's a kind of a Prince Charles stand-in, he but anyway, the character, okay, phone my mic up a notch. I can do that. Is that any better? I hope that's better. Oh, no. I can see that. It's much better. I dropped. Here we go. That should be a lot better. There we go. I dropped my, I dropped the mixer this evening as I was prepping for the show, and so my audio settings have probably gotten all mixed up. Now, if you're wondering what's going on here, you know, here in the United States, Clydesdales are usually associated with beer, a particular brand of beer. So, is this better? Is this better? Okay, cut the bass. Hold on a second. I've got to reach over here and grab the mixer. Sorry about that. Okay, cut the bass. How's that? Is that better? Yeah, it was kind of bassy. This should be a lot better. Should be a lot better. Okay, that should be a lot better. I'm hoping it's a lot. Ooh, that's way too much there. Okay, that should be a lot better. There we go. There we go. I think that's gonna. Is that help? Is that better? Does it sound better? Oh, ow, man! Don't hit it with the thing in my ear. Okay, all right. There we go. Much better. I sound better. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, before I had to go and adjust things, if I ask where my glasses are, they're over there. Clydesdales here in the U.S. are usually associated with beer. So he's and you know, for a guy his size, it takes a lot of beer. So I'm putting lots of empties in here. All right, so there we go. Quick doodle. The music is a little harder to adjust. because that's not on the mixer. That's on the computer. So I have to, that takes a little bit more. Let me see if I can do something about that. There, gain? Is there a gain on that? No, there's not gain on that. It's over here. There we go. This one's kind of quiet anyway. There we go. There we go. Thank you for your help in helping me dial that in. I gotta. I am clipping bad here on my voice. There we go. That should be a lot better. That should be a lot better. So anyway, there we go. A drunk Clydesdale. Drunk on the beer. He's probably been hauling around. Ta-da! Okay. All right. Any other suggestions? Yeah, and his last name, Weiser. Of course. Or Miller. Yeah, I think Miller would be actually funnier. Music is too loud. Okay. How's that? Is that better? Is the music a lot better now? See, it's hard for me to judge because I'm not actually monitoring the actual output because of delays and talk back and all of that. So, four-armed Naga Sam. Okay. Okay. Four-armed Naga Sam. All right. Let me know if that music is better now. All right. Music is still too loud. Okay, hold on. Now it's kind of back where it was before. Where it was originally. Okay, all right. Well, this is one of the new pencils. No, this isn't one of the new pencils. Oh, this was no. This is one of the new pencils. No, this isn't. I'm sorry. I'm just going back and forth. Yeah, in my days as a broadcaster, we used to do that. Mark down the critical settings on the board. The problem here is that the board is not really feeding the broadcast. It's feeding the microphone because it's acting as my phantom power source. So it's feeding it's feeding out the 48 volts for the phantom power, and it's then sending that into the computer where it's being mixed, and then it's feeding because of the delay in bringing in a digital audio signal. I can't listen to myself and get the right side tone. So the side tone is delayed, and I blather like an idiot even more than I usually do. So the settings. So really, the mixer is not really mixing. It's just it's a monitor for me, and I have the music fed into the headphones. In fact, everything except for my voice is fed out of the computer and then fed back through the mixer, so it's mixed into my headphones. So it's mixing into my headphones, but so I'm not hearing a true representation of what the show sounds like, because if I did, I would get about a 200 millisecond delay, and that would be enough to throw me off. And so, like for example, I can boost on the mixer. I can boost the and I just now turned up all the way the input from the computer for the background music, but you didn't know that. You wouldn't have known that if I hadn't said anything, because you're not going to hear that. That's not feeding out to you. So, all right. So you know what? I'm going to change my pencil here. And put my eye out in the process. I have. Let's see, where are they? Here we are. I have some 8B pencils. These are very dark pencils. These are Faber-Castells. Very soft lead. No, it is not an ink. It is not a felt tip. It is a pencil. This is an 8B. Pencils come in various hardnesses, and what we usually use here in North America and call a number 2 is actually a it's a 2B, and the European standard actually encompasses art pencils, in addition to, you know, plain old pencils. And no, I take it back. It's called in the pencil is it's HB is the equivalent in art pencils in the European standard for the number 2. And this is a very soft pencil called it's an 8B. And I got it at an art supply store. I probably got it at Blick. But it does provide kind of an ink-like line here. And another thing that it does is gives a great range of tonality for shading, which I'll show you in a moment. All right, so here's what it does when you with shading. I've got, like I said, this is very light. Just a little bit darker. Put some shadow here. And I'm not really that much darker than when I filled in the whole area. Let's see. So what else do I have in here? I got a collection of some odds and end pencils in here. See, I got some 8Bs. I got a bunch of 8Bs because I just like the dark. 6Bs. 6B. What is this? 8B. Ant B. 7B. 8. I thought I had an H of some sort in here. I do. Ah, okay. Just as a example. Let's see. What is this? Okay. Okay, just for comparison, here is, this is just a plain old number 2, good old-fashioned number 2. So I'll just draw a line here with it and mark that number 2. And then this is the, this is a 9B. And I'm using the same pressure. Okay, this is the 8B. And different manufacturers have different levels of okay, and then this is the 2H. So you can see it is definitely a lot lighter than the number 2. And these go all the way up to 789H, which is almost, you know, And what it and the difference between all of these is the proportion of graphite to clay in the because that's what this is. That's what the lead is. It's not lead. It's graphite and it's clay. And the more graphite you have in there in proportion to the clay, the softer the softer the lead is going to be, and the darker the pencil will be. There we go. Yeah, the problem with the with soft pencils is smearing, as I will demonstrate right here. So, what do you use to fix it with? Well, you actually have, I don't have any, but there's actually spray fixative. It's basically glue. It's like, do you remember that scene in the Blues Brothers when they're when the Blues Brothers are trying to sneak into the Palace Hotel ballroom and they stop at the Good Old Boys RV, and Elwood goes in there and he coats coats the accelerator with glue, with spray glue, and he comes out and says, "This is glue, strong stuff," you know, just so you knew exactly what it was. Well, that's what it is. It's basically just glue, and I don't have any. But yeah, that's what what you use it for, is no, not there. I do have some here, because there is actually something darker than those. And I have one. I have some. I used to. I just got to find the right coffee mug for it. Is it this one? Is it this mug? Ah, yes. There is something that is darker than these pencils, and that is this: charcoal. And again, this is the same level of pressure that I was using for these others. Now, this stuff will smear. And so what I have to do, if I'm using the graphite or the charcoal, and I don't use it that much, I basically have to have a shield where I do this. I take another piece of paper and I just shield as I'm working. And as you're working, that's the only thing you can do. But when the piece is done, you need to spray it down with a fixative, which basically coats it with lacquer and locks everything in. Well, Darkwing, this was your suggestion, so Sam's showing her appreciation for it. Another pencil that I used to use a lot, but I can't get anymore. I can't find them anymore. That I used to love for sketching are these. These are basically the same version, a version of these pencils. The difference between the two is the light blue one is what's known as non-photo blue, and then this is a non-printing pencil. This would not show up in a reproduction on blueprints, which is a chemical contact reproduction method. This does not show up on a stat camera, which is a photographic and shooting onto film through filters method. So this would, this is why I use this, so I can scan it out. But I liked the texture that this pencil had when I would sketch with it, and also it really, had a nice texture for doing stuff like this. being a little darker than the blue, it showed up better. Yeah, so well, anatomically speaking, Darkwing, if you in order to have a second set of arms, you need all of the other linkages, such as collarbones, pectoral muscles. There's a whole support network in the anatomy for the arms, and if you wanted a second set of arms, you have to have, in order for it to be something that looks viable and workable, you have to have all that other. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on anatomy, but I just if I'm going to do a fantastic piece of anatomy, and Sam does have a fantastic anatomy, I want it to be at least believable, which is why I've thought out what the internal arrangement of the organs for my characters are, and how they work. So so there's an internal consistency, and but anyway, so there we go. Oh, look at this. We got 2, 4, we got 16 and 8, and nothing there on the others because it's the 24th. All right. Okay, so there we go. So what? Where are we at here? Where are we at? Let me close this. Okay, we're at 11 o'clock. Okay. Yeah, and actually, James has suggested something about anatomy, doing a study on anatomy. That is actually something that I was planning and been thinking about and making notes for on for a tutorial series having to do with hold on a second, there we go. Having to do doing comparative anatomy. My shirt is on backwards, inside out. I just realized this. Oh well. So yeah. Okay. So yeah. I was thinking about doing basically, and it wouldn't be about centaurs. It would be really about how humans and mammals and many animals have the same arrangement. They just they have the same parts. They're just arranged a little differently. But in terms of Mark just asked Unho Bob just asked about centaur question, organ arrangement. There's lots of, everybody's got a theory on that does anything with centaurs, and so mine is that what? Disregard change. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let me grab here. There we go. And this is a very crude. But basically, I don't. This is lungs down here, heart in here, liver, stomach, intestines, and then the poop chute. But basically, there's this is just one long esophagus. There is nothing up here, and that actually came into play in the original series, because Sam was stabbed right through the heart, where the heart would have been, by malevolence, and it was a serious flesh wound, but she didn't die because of it. And so that's just the way that I've done it on mine, because I basically consider that these organs are the human organs just sized up, and the actual biology is human. It just looks. But that's, everybody has their own. So some people do have dual anatomy, dual organs. It just seems to me to be a little more complex from an anatomical and biological standpoint. But you know what? It's your universe. If you're doing something with centaurs and you want it to be, the other way around, then you know what? That's yours. It's your world. You do it however you want. That's the great thing about creating something. It's your own. We are actually 2 tubes. But anyway, so that's the internal arrangement for Accidental Centaurs, is that they are basically in terms of the way things are wired in their brain, for the sensation that Alex and Sam would feel. The back legs walking are like the back legs as a human, and then their arms are like their arms as a human. It's the front legs that are additional. And again, that's just the way that I've wired them up. Some people have new legs sprouting out the back, whatever. But that's theirs, whatever they want to do. The line of impact is high. You're true, but we are talking about creatures in another universe, and physics does work slightly differently over there. So that's my hand wave. Poof! There, problem solved. Ido Bob did point out that layout in the real world would give poor blood chemistry, because of the high level of CO2. And again, I can just hand wave that by saying, well, that's just not the way that physics works in the world of Accidental Centaurs, because I can. It's good to be the creator of that universe. So anyway, okay. Anything else while we're here? Don't forget, tomorrow is going to be Total Request Tuesday. So be thinking of what you might want on. If you've got any ideas and you want to send them to me, send them to me. And if you got any reference material that you need, like if it's a character that you have or whatever, and you want to send some reference material, send that to me, so that I'll have that on hand, and we can jump right into it. So so yes, I am muscled. So the upper torso is the meat tube. It's an enhanced neck. Is what it is. Is basically what it is. Yeah. So there we are. Any other requests, suggestions, topics, whatever? Go ahead and let's do it, or we'll close it up for the night. So anyway, but yeah, when what you have to do is you just got to decide which way something's going to work, and then stick with it, because you just need that internal, especially if you're doing an ongoing piece. like Accidental Centaurs is, you just got to decide, okay, this is the way it's going to be, and that's it, so that you have the internal consistency, and you stay consistent with yourself. It doesn't matter what you have, what decision you make. It's just stay consistent to it is the thing. Have some more water. My aunt who? Maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll do Four-Armed Alex Naga, because you need a matching pair of characters thanking you, saying thanks a pant load, Darkwing. Speaking of Darkwing, did you see where they kind of sort of confirmed by not confirming that Darkwing Duck is going to be part of the new DuckTales? That was kind of a big surprise, because the two were actually, they were separate, because and then so this brings up all kinds of questions, like what's going to happen with Launchpad McQuack, because he was in both shows, and so it's going to be an interesting thing. But apparently they're bringing them all in. The Darkwing Duck is again, it was one of those non-denial denials, or non-confirmation denials. Which brings up what I was saying earlier about House of Cards. The catchphrase is of Francis Urquhart, which was the character that evolved into Kevin Spacey's character. His catchphrase was, "You might think that I couldn't possibly comment." Was his non-confirming confirmation. So yeah, I just love that line. You might possibly think that I couldn't possibly. You might possibly think that I couldn't possibly comment. But yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to be the voice of Gizmo Duck. And of course, the one that I'm the most excited about is David Tennant being Scrooge. I think that's brilliant. I think that's brilliant. Actually, getting a Scotsman to play a Scottish duck. I think that's just brilliant. And well, Jim Cummings. Hold on. Managed to get to the kill switch in time for that one. Well, Jim Cummings does a lot of stuff with Disney now, so that's not out of the realm of possibility. For him to come back as Darkwing Duck. I never really watched the show. Again, I'm excited about DuckTales because of the comic books, the original Carl Barks comics, which is what I grew up reading. So, and seeing that that this version of DuckTales is going to be much closer to those in terms of spirit, and also in design too. I mean, the character design, yes, is a little more modernized character design, but there's all kinds of style cues in the background, like colors being out of registration with the lines, and lots of half toning for shading. It's brilliant. Yes, Darkwing was just asking if June Foray is still alive. Yes, not only is June Foray still alive, she's still working. She's like 96, 97 years old, and she's still working. God bless her. She's still working. But yeah, the animated clips that they've shown, there's a lot of zipatone in those in half toning in the color schemes, and the color schemes are the kind of muted kind of colors that you would see that were in those comic books. The color gamuts and those things were like that. So they're taking a lot of design cues from that era of the comic books. Granted, the character designs are a little more modern, but I don't mind them that much. I think they work, and I like another thing that is she 99? I thought she was 96. 99. Wow. Yeah, and still working. That's the amazing part. She's still working. And not working from a home studio. She goes in to studios, so she's amazing. Yeah, going back to talking about the design on DuckTales. I think it works. It's a nice looking aesthetic. It looks like a comic book. It looks more like a comic book than the original DuckTales did, which looked more like animation. And I like another thing that they're doing is they're giving Huey, Dewey, and Louie each unique personalities, because and this was something that the original comic book didn't do, because they would finish each other's sentences in the original comic book. So yeah, I think you're right, James. It is 99. So 99 is Barbara Felton. I knew he was going to do that. I just knew it. I just knew it was coming. Anyway, but yeah, DuckTales. I am excited about DuckTales because there's been some, there's been some interesting choices, and I think some very good choices to revive the show. And another thing is Donald is actually going to be a part of it, which he was not in the original DuckTales series. But he was a very important part of the Scrooge McDuck comics in the 50s and the 60s and going into the 70s, and well, in the 80s, and with Don Rosa, and when he took over and made that, and not just took it over, he made it his own. He really did. So I'm looking for who was number one. I'm not a number. That was a great show. That was such a great show. The Prisoner. But anyway, so yeah, I've already made that joke, Tom. Thank you very much. Okay. Now we're into the rambling part of the show. I need a graphic for rambling. That's what I need. I need to maybe do a spoof of Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment. That's, yeah, rambling. That's an old college joke from college that none of you would know. Anyway, yeah, that and the remake of the Prisoner. You're right, Tom. Was just oy. Did they even watched The Prisoner before they did that? It was just terrible. I didn't even make it through the first episode. It was so bad. So anyway, let's see what else going on here. Yeah, that remake was beyond unwatchable, and they wasted Ian McKellen in it too. It was just ugh. Okay, so anything else? We really covered things. We went through Clydesdales, Buck Rogers, The Prisoner. We've just been all over the board tonight. So, and then Tom brings up the Allman Brothers. Okay. And when Tom starts quoting songs, that's probably our cue that it was probably time to pack up for the night. So, like I said, tomorrow is going to be Total Request Tuesday. So if you've got a suggestion, you got something you want to do, go ahead and just send it to me, and we'll, that way I've got some reference materials. Let's see what definitely probably won't have a show on Friday. I don't know. I should know by tomorrow. if I'm going to do a show on Friday or not. Because where I'm going, I'm not going to say, because it should be a really cool if this person that I'm going to see wants to do it. It'll be really cool. If he doesn't, well, that's because we have other things that we're going to be doing. And then, oh God, you're a brony. Oh no. Oh no. Tom and I have gone around and around and around about My Little Pony. Anyway, but yeah, Friday's show. If we do it, if we do it, it really will be something. It really will be really cool, and I'll know for a little bit more tomorrow. So I'll be able to hopefully be able to make an announcement tomorrow's show about whether it's going to happen and who's going to what this is all about. And then I may be going to see Dunkirk this week, so there may be another night when I have to pull the plug. I still want to see Valerian. I still haven't seen Valerian. Yeah, and again, this is why I was kind of thinking of maybe scaling this back to one night a week. That's just something I'm thinking about. I'd like to hear your comments on that and your thoughts on that. Also, please tell your friends about the show. Yeah, I'm just kind of rambling right now. So I guess that's going to be it. So we're going to wrap it up. Yeah, we're at an hour and 17 minutes, and obviously we got the. Oh, by the way, obviously we got the technical problems fixed. Turns out it was a software revision that went bad, and I haven't filed a trouble report with the software vendor yet. But I will. But that's what it was. It was the software. It was the software revision that just did not like doing stuff. So, all right. Until next time, I guess this is going to be it. We're going to call it. Yeah. Going once, going twice. That's it. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with all of this. I hope to see you tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. Remember to use, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. Remember to use the URL, bit.ly/nightlydraw. That'll take you to wherever we are, whether it's Picardo, whether it's YouTube, whether, as I said, whether it's 2 tin cans and a string, you'll be able to get to it through through the naughty bits. Oops. Oh boy. Yeah, it is time to shut it down then. But yeah, bit.ly/nightlydraw. Let me put that back up real quick. Again, write that down, tattoo it on your forehead, do whatever you need to do to remember that URL. That will get you to wherever we're going to be. And but tell your friends, give them that URL, tell them to join in. It's a lot of fun. And if you are watching this and you made it through all of this and you liked what you see, please, if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button right down there. Subscribing helps me. I need to go and do another push to get people to subscribe. But that's it. We are pretty much out of stuff. I've been out of stuff to say for a long time, but that hasn't stopped me. So until tomorrow night, keep your powder dry and drive safely. Good night, everybody.